Good morning, all of you. So we will deal with the today's prism concept, almost around some 50 numericals I picked up of different kind. Okay, we'll just go through all of them, maximum possible all of them. So it's all about the basic geometry, the triangle. Draw the ray diagram and get an apply Snell's law and get the relation between the triangles. That one. Here and there, some TR conditions will come. So we'll start with one first with a slab problem. Okay, read the question now. A glass slab is placed between object O and this one. Find how much closer the object appears to be observers. So what is this like? What is the? So shall we assume? This was a basic thing. So in this, shall I assume a strip of width how much? Let it be dy. What is the shift only due to this? This should be equal to ds should be equal to 1 by 1 minus mu into dy. Shift produced by the small elemental strip of width dy. That is, so this will be 1 minus what is the value of mu naught. This will integrate for the total shift. Dy should be 0 to t. You may get a problem where the refractive index of slab will be variable. So you need not to bother anything. Okay, integrating this, we'll get expression for shift as t minus, this will be 1 by mu naught log of 1 plus y 0 to t. Okay, fine. So there's a total shift. Any numerical can be asked, so just be careful. Just I picked up one question. The slab Ri can be variable also. This is nothing but like double diffraction because here it is air. I'll separate these two questions. Read. Meanwhile, you read 37. I'll just keep it aside here. Okay, fine. Okay, now read the question. An equilibrism deviates a ray through 40 degrees for two angles of incidence. The two incident angles differ by 20 degrees. Find their values. Don't go for diagram. Every time drawing diagram may not be advisable, especially mains exam. So straight away write the equation. So what is the expression for deviation? Incident angle plus emergent angle minus A. What is the total deviation produced? Deviates through 40 degrees. We don't know that incident angle, keep it here. And emergent angle, we don't know. Angle of prism, equilateral prism, 60 degrees. So therefore, 100 degrees equal to I plus C. Then the equilateral prism deviates a ray through 40 degrees for two angles of incidence. So actually, I think if you look at the graph, some better picture will come for you. So there's a curve. We are not we are not discussing question at maximum deviation or nor at minimum deviation. Am I right? Our question is something somewhere related to this particular position. So many Siddharth Chanakya, Sai Chaitanya, everyone, Kasturi Shishir, almost every day I had to mute it. Every day I'm muting it. Huh? Every day I'm muting it. This is so indisciplined. Like you don't have that much of common sense that when you enter class you should mute. No, so much of lazy. Huh? I can remove what is there in that one. You have to just mute it. No, what is there? Can't you press that button? One button. So much of lazy. See, to come to the class, almost 1.5 hours I sat. These questions are there in somewhere book, question paper. I'll take photograph. I'll crop it. Then I'll send it to the like a hard my Google Drive. From Google Drive, what will happen? Again, I'm pasting it here. No, it's every day. Kasturi Sishir. Almost every day, what happen? I am muting it. Then Siddharth one. There are almost some standard fixed students. Not interested. See, like, see, forcibly I am hearing. Then it's your problem. See, first 10 days, 15 days, okay, we don't know technology. Almost 6 months. Oh, no. How much of time? Huh? Okay, there's a deviation. So the deviation. So these are the two angles, I and D. We discussed about only that maximum deviation. So I'm discussing problem like this here. So the what should be the difference? E minus I. E minus I should be 20. Okay, solve this. So we'll get that values of I and D. Fine. So solving this will be 120. So one will be 60 degrees. I will be 40 degrees. Now there's a one good simple question I just picked up. See, don't treat like enemies, sir. Like we are trying to help you. Please do understand. As a teacher, no, tell me what shall I do? Tell me like if I'm forcing you, then you should question your parent. No, you should question your parent. That's all. So tell me like what's wrong I'm doing by teaching this particular thing. You want to disturb class. Tell me what's my problem. Tell me like not interested. Okay, don't come. That's all. Finish. Or no. So I don't know from where this approach will come. Hmm? So like if I do any harm to you, okay, fine, no. So I am trying my level best to explain you everything. So you should accept that. So even the good thing, if you're not accepting, then we can't do anything. I think the Siddharth only like I removed him 2 days back. So what he's telling is like, sir, like I'm not creating any disturbance. See, like if any disturbance comes, what happened? The one which is unmute only, I should check it, no? It's a minimum basic necessity. Like just mute it, finish over. Okay, you want to ask doubt. Okay, unmute it. I'm permitting, no? It's like, see, we have limited resources. The best thing is what we should utilize the resources. Huh? See, your interest will help me. Your interest, what will happen, will help us a lot to really help you. When the behavior is like this, no, we just feel like, okay, these kids are not interested. Why to trouble them? Loss will be for you, no. So you are so much of investment is there. Lakhs of rupees you are paying. Say I'm not robot. Whatever you do, okay, that one. So I'm a human being. I do have emotions. Okay, fine. Yeah, let's come. That one. Okay, there's a glass slab is there. What is the effect of glass slab with slab, without slab? Any problem will be there. With the slab, without slab, any problem will be there.
No difference.
It doesn't make difference, no? So this is the, so one slab idea, I just brought it for this purpose only. Because we do study more slab problems, no? Second thing, later on I'll do coloring. So if I send a ray, what if the slab will not produce any deviation? So there's a ray. Minimum deviation, minimum possible deviation. What will happen again? The deviation will be same. You calculate. So here what happened? This diagram may appear little bit, but the idea will be same here. So here it will undergo refraction, everything. So finally it will come. So if you calculate the deviation part, these two deviations will be same. Okay, this I think I'll show it here. Now what about delta 2, delta 1? Those two will be equal. So the effect of slab will not be there, that's all. And you know how to calculate minimum deviation when they're given. Mu equal to sine of.
They gave minimum deviation, sir.
Directly, no. Okay, no need to calculate anything. Yeah. Okay, this one I felt really good problem. Just like it will trouble you. We start thinking here and there something. So what is the slab? Slab will not produce deviation. So what is the total deviation of the net deviation? Deviation due to prism plus deviation due to slab. We know deviation due to slab is 0. So therefore it will be only. I'll take the next one. Yeah. I'll give this angle is missing. 37 degrees and AO is equal to 4 meters. The ray is incident at the midpoint. Just I picked up a problem where mu is varying. Okay, read the question. I'll meanwhile adjust the diagram. Okay, there's a thing. So the ray is entering here. So this angle is 37 degrees. So let me take this is AO, B. This is x-axis. He has given coordinate system. Let O be the origin. So let this be the M. So here, this will be normal. So as this is 37, so this should be 37. So what is our question that is asked? Find the range of value of A so that light does not escape through the face AB. For that, what should be the condition? This 37 degrees should be less than critical angle. Okay, we know AO and AP is equal to PO. Is equal to 2 centimeter. All the distances are in centimeter. Take like this. AP is equal to PO is equal to 2 centimeter. So from that, we'll get the distance. So tan 37 PM by AP. So what is PM is equal to tan 37 by AP. Anybody value total? Tan 37 0.75 approximately. AP is 2.
3/2.
Okay, 3/2 centimeter. Okay, there's a PM. Okay, what after this what happened? So it's strict condition that for the ray not to emerge. For the ray not to emerge from face AB, 37 degrees should be greater than critical angle. So what is the critical angle? Sine inverse of 1 by mu. Yeah. What is the value? Mu naught plus A into X. This is the origin, no? In fact. So mu naught value we know. So therefore I'll substitute the value of X. 37 sine 37. Mu naught is how much? 4/3 A. So this X shall I write equal to PM? Okay, solve this now. So we'll get the value of E. Nothing to do. These are some troublesome questions will be there in exam. We'll start thinking here and there. So if it is not incident normally at AB, but anyway, the path length, something related to this one. Huh? So not a big idea. That's what I feel. Huh? I too thought this something started working. Okay, mu variable, how the prism, shall we assume like a small infinitesimal prism? I thought like this, to be frank. Then later on, okay, it's asking something very basic thing. So what I thought is like mu varies. So what is the expression for minimum deviation? How do they come? So it's not asking anything of that kind. This is value. Anybody?
A greater than
Greater
2 by
than 2
9.
by 9.
2/9 finish. Maximum mathematics. Huh? It's all about mathematics. That's what I feel, especially the prisms, especially triangle, quadrilateral, then Snell's law. I feel 2 hours is sufficient. Huh? Just take 2 hours and first 1 hour recollect all the ideas, then another 1 hour, some 10 problems, solve it. You'll be in better position. This is something I picked up. This will you try to see the thing which I'm highlighting it. Why do that? It is partly reflected, partly transmitted. And there's a question what you are supposed to ask a teacher. Sir, in prism, can it happen for any boundary, a part of EM wave? Because what is the light? Light is EM wave. A part of EM wave will be transmitted, a part will be reflected. Of course, what we did is like we took ideal. All the energy will be transmitted. But it's natural that part will be reflected, part will be transmitted. So, but sir, you say TIR is what? Total light will be reflected back. I think, are you getting the difference between TIR and what I'm bringing this idea? If a ray, what happened is incident at a boundary, a part will be transmitted, part will be reflected. TIR is a special case where the whole energy will be reflected back. So when we discuss refraction, there'll be some also reflection also. Okay, fine. There's a practical, but we divided problems like a only transmission, then only reflection. But in general, transmission, reflection, both will occur. Only transmission not possible. Transmission, reflection, only reflection possible at TIR. I think I made enough clarity for you. Okay, now get into the question now. Get that basic diagram. Draw prism. First, you draw the triangle. I think if you can draw the triangle, something you can do it. Okay, let's get into the ray is incident normally. It is normal for this. So here there's a normal. I think I'm I'll draw a better diagram. So this is a normal. Rough may not appear normal, but it's a normal. Okay, after reflection. Then here normal you draw it. Now it will undergo refraction. So the ray, what will happen, will bend. Moving from denser to rarer should bend away from normal. This much is what? Okay, let's get into calculation part. Okay, there's the angle of in prism. Refractiveness glass of prism and the angle of prism. We have to calculate this mu and a, these two things to be calculated. So this should be the R1. So what is R1? R1 is 0. So this angle is what should be directly equal to, shall I write A? Angle of incidence should be equal to angle of reflection. And a part of ray will be transmitted. Transmitted ray moving from denser to rarer. Take like this. So this is the emergent angle E1. This is E2. This angle will be 90. If this angle is 90, and this angle be theta. So what is theta? Theta should be equal to 90 plus 2a plus theta should be equal to 180. Theta should be equal to 90 minus 2a. Then theta plus this angle alpha. theta plus alpha should be 90 because this is a normal. Theta plus alpha should be 90. Okay, let's substitute theta. Theta is 90 minus 2a plus alpha equal to 90. So therefore alpha is equal to 2a. Okay, it's all about now. Now what is this? What is the deviation? So it's telling something. The deviation suffered by refracted ray is, there's a refracted ray. There's a reflected ray. So what is the deviation suffered by refracted ray? So therefore, for the refracted ray, what is the deviation? Deviation at n1, this n2. So at n1 we'll write it. So deviation should be equal to E1 minus C. This deviation is how much? 1 degree. The deviation and the reflected strike phase again and emerges from it, making an angle 4 degrees. So what is E2? E2 should be 4 degree, no? That was a given thing. So applying Snell's law at n1, applying Snell's law, mu sine A should be equal to sine E1. Mu sine E1 by sine A. Sine E1 is sine of 1 degree A plus 1 degree by sine A. Again at n2 applying Snell's law, mu sine alpha equal to sine E2. So this mu is equal to sine E2 by sine alpha. Sine alpha E2 is 4 degree given, and alpha is 2a. For small angles, for small angles, so we can write sine as only angles, that one. So this equation 1, for small angles, it will become with this we'll get angle of prism. After getting angle of prism, we'll get the value of mu. Answer, I'll write it, check it
2
out.
and 1.
Angle of prism 1 degree, mu is 2. Okay, partly reflected, partly transmitted. I think this is something very important. It's not TIR, no TIR at n1 what means there's a natural phenomena that will occur. I'll scroll down. Yeah, we'll take the next one. Read the question number 45, and something number is there. In a direction perpendicular to other refracting phase. I think when I'm drawing ray diagram, this is what I should take care. I think there's a key point. Okay, now let's get into the diagram one. The ray is incident normally. It will undergo. So here no. After this, I think I should. Yeah, fine. Okay, I think that this is the. Afterwards, what will happen? The critical angle for glass air interface. So I'll just put it. Then again, it will undergo. If the ray fails to emerge from other phase. So definitely what happen, it should undergo here TIR. Yeah, let's get into the. This is what 90 degree. This much of information is there. Only as given the critical angle, that one. So again, I'll get into all the basic as usual. I1. This will be R1. Just TR. So R1 plus R2 is A. So first we'll get it. This is 90 degree, no? This is 90. So take this is alpha. If that is alpha, this should be alpha. And so first we'll get in this one. Alpha should be 90 minus A. Then I1 plus alpha should be 90. So therefore, what is I1? I1 is equal to A. The angle of incidence will be equal to the angle of prism. I think there's a one basic condition. Then for it to undergo TIR at the second phase, there's a second phase. There's a first phase. For it to undergo TIR, say N2, this is N1. At N2, for TIR, R2 should be greater than critical angle. So, and we have one relationship, R1 plus R2 should be equal to A for the prism. So therefore R2, what I can write it as A minus R1 greater than C. R1 will be less than A minus C. Sin R1 will be less than sin A minus C. Okay, let's come for at N2. There's a one equation, we'll keep it here. Mu sin R1, sin I1 equal to mu sin R1 at N1. So sin R1, I can write it as 1 by mu. So 1 by mu sin I1 equal to sin R1. So there's the equation 1. This is called equation 2. Substitute 1 in 2. Sin R1, what we can write it as, or say like, what is 1 by mu? One more idea. What is 1 by mu? 1 by mu should be sin C, critical angle. or sine R2. So where C is equal to R2 will, okay, R2 greater than C, no? Now just critical angle, R2 will be greater than or equal to, let it put. So what is it, that particular thing is 30 degrees. The critical angle for glass air interface is 30 degrees. So with that, shall we bring the value of mu directly? I'll write it in this one. Sine of critical angle should be equal to 1 by mu. And so what is this? This should be equal to sine 30 degrees. Okay, directly take care of this. So this will become sine I1 by 2 equal to sine R1. And I1 is equal to A, no? So that you substitute. So I1 is equal to where it is. Okay, it is here. I think I'll give numbers like this. 1, 2, 3. So I1, I can write it as A. R1, R1. So substituting 1, solving 1, 2, 3. So this should be equal to sine of A by 2 should be less than sine of A minus C. Inverted value finally.
Cot A less than root 3 minus 1.
Cot A should be less than root 3 minus 1. Okay, this will be our answer. Huh? If you can just understand the trick or the method, no, the prism concept you can manage. That's what I feel. Okay, read the question. I'll have water. So where is the high? The high will be located. So we'll make a diagram, plain diagram. I think that this point is not there. So there's a spot. The human eye will be okay. There's a human eye. It should not able to see the spot. So the rays, what happen after refraction? If they undergo TIR here at the face, this will be for our convenient purpose. I will write like I'm making plain diagram. A and AB, no problem with it. So the rays will emerge from here, they'll undergo refraction. The rays are moving from denser to right to denser. They should bend towards normal. So the ray will bend towards normal. And here it should undergo TIR. Then only open the ray will not emerge. Already we have discussed a little bit in different way is asking. Now get into this one. So this is the B. A, B or DC altogether the surface. I don't want to go for 3D diagram. Let's make it a plane diagram. Now analyze it. Already I think you have some idea. So here you should undergo TIR. So this is the angle of incidence. This is theta1. This is theta2. Yesterday we have did some problems here, no? So this should be the refractive index. This is A. This is some sort of, I'll bring the idea of prism. This angle, prism angle called A. Tell me how you manage this. So shall we bring this like a, this is like a prism, no? Here. The ray has come and has entered and it's like a prism. So what is the condition for no emergence for a right angle prism? The angle of prism should be greater than 2 times of critical angle. And what is the angle of prism here? 90 degrees. I don't want to take help of slab anything. So I'm just putting the idea that for a condition of no emergence, what should be the angle of prism? If it is greater than or equal to 2 times of critical angle for no emergence. Condition for no emergence. This should be this one. So we know angle of prism. So sir, where is the prism? I'm not seeing prism. I can take this is some sort of prism, you know. The structure, this will become prism. This is one refracting surface, this other refracting surface. So we can take this as structure like this. So this particular rectangular solid structure, I can assume it to made up of 2 prisms, 2 right angle prisms. So therefore now there's a condition. So what should be the A by 2? So this A by 2 should be greater than critical angle. What is value of A? A is 90 degrees. So therefore 90 by 2 should be, so therefore 45 degrees. Take this one, sine 45 degrees should be greater than sine C. So 1 by root 2. Sine C is what? 1 by mu. So therefore what is mu? So mu should be greater than or equal to root 2. Minimum value mu equal to root 2. Check it by other method, you'll get same answer. Okay, fine. So do take help of the ideas, the ideas what all you study. No, you should know how to apply in different situations. Or else what happen? You can also do by other method. Apply Snell's law here. Sin I is equal to mu sin theta 1. Then here condition for critical angle theta 2 should be greater than or equal to critical angle for it to undergo TIR in the surface AB, solve it, you'll end up with the same answer. So it's not like something, there should be a prism. We can, even a part of structure can be treated as prism. These two things, if time left over, I'll take it out. If time left over, I'll take it out. Or else you try it, in the end, I'll update the answer. So I'll take the next one. No. An equilateral prism made up of a transparent fiber sheet having thickness 1 millimeter. The fiber prism is filled with a liquid of refractive index √2. Find the deviation of a light incident on one face of such a prism at an angle of 45 degrees. What to do with that fiber sheet? We do have here. What to do with that fiber sheet?
What difference now?
It doesn't make difference. The thin fiber sheet which is there, no, it is of no use, that one. You can treat only that liquid as prism and solve the problem. But he has given refractiveness 1.25. The deviation produced by the fiber sheet is 0. The net deviation produced by fiber sheet is 0. What all the deviation is only due to liquid. I will write down this one. The deviation due to prism plus deviation due to fiber sheet. This will be 0. Net deviation it is. So only what all deviation is produced only due to prism. You can't use formula small angle prism. So what is the formula now? Angle of incidence I plus E minus A. Calculate that emergent angle. So apply the formula sin I. What to do here with this one? Shall we apply Snell's law for the fiber sheet?
No need.
No need. So directly you can just take it out that, because directly you can write now mu of liquid into sin R1, then mu of liquid sin R2 is equal to sin E. How you know mu L of the liquid, you know, so you'll get R1 plus R2 is equal to A. So you'll get R2, that value of R2 substitute here, you'll get sin E. That value of E, you're going to substitute to get the net deviation. I'm just sharing the idea. Answer given 30 degrees something. Check later on. And there's one good problem is there. Two thin prisms are combined such that they neither produce any average deviation nor do they cause any dispersion when white light is incident on the combination. Angle of one prism is 2 degrees and the refractiveness of glass for red yellow. Find the dispersive power of the glass of the other prism. Something, go back to the formulas. What is the dispersive power? Angular dispersion by mean deviation. Don't get involved in the diagram. At least may not be needed, I feel, rather than wasting time in the diagram. The net deviation is 0. What is the deviation formula? Mu minus mu, the deviation for the yellow color light, the deviation suffered by the yellow color light is what the mean deviation. So therefore the two prisms. So first we'll begin like this. Into A is equal to mu y dash minus 1 a dash. At the net deviation is 0, keep it in hand like this. For net deviation 0. Let me write symbol. Therefore, mu y minus 1 a equal to, keep it here now. So there's the equation 1. Net dispersion is 0. I think I gave symbol. What is the net dispersion? Formula. The deviation suffered by violet minus right. This should be 0. What is the deviation suffered by violet? Mu v minus 1 into a. So I'll end up the equation like mu v minus mu r into a equal to mu v dash minus mu r dash a dash. Oh, okay, yeah. This much is there. What is the dispersive power? Basically, mean dispersion by mean deviation is what? The dispersive power, no? And that was the, I'll write down the formula. Dispersive power is equal to dispersion by deviation, mean deviation. What is the dispersion? We do that like this, and the deviation is what? I think, okay, this one, yeah. Deviation by LO. So this will be, everything will end up like this, no? This is the formula. The A will get eliminated. So this is dispersive power. Omega is what? We had a typical symbol. So therefore, so what shall I do now? So in place of mu v minus mu r, shall we write?
And divided.
Okay, I'll do one thing. Mu y minus omega into a equal to, I'll bring, so what is the, this much what we have here. And so what is the net deviation? Net dispersion is 0, no? And look at this one, mu y equation 1. Using equation 1, this equation 2. Put 1 into, with this what will come to know? Omega dash equal to omega. Am I right? Okay, now what we know, like for one of the omega dash is what? What is the formula we can write it as? Substitute all these values, you'll get the dispersive power. (1.51 minus 1.49 by 1.5 minus 1. 0.04. Just simple formula based one. Showing that both the dispersive powers are equal is very important. Huh? Okay, let's take the next one. Read the question. Read the question. Which of the rays corresponds to which color? So there's a white light is incident. Incident white light. Analyze it, no? First what happened there? At AB, what will happen? Some rays, what happen will there'll be angle of incidence, and if that, okay, some rays will undergo refraction, some will undergo TIR. Again, at other refracting surface, one ray will undergo TIR, the other will undergo refraction. So which can be what about the colors? What we can say about colors? So first we'll get into the basic relationship. So the Vibgyor, what all we have here? Red, green, yellow, and blue is there. So which will be first? Red, green. Okay, lambda B greater than lambda G less than lambda Y less than lambda. Is it okay? First, red, blue, green, red, green, yellow, and blue. Red, green, yellow, and blue. Yeah, there's a relationship between the wavelengths. What about the critical angles? And the mu depends upon this one, no? Mu equal to, I think, Cauchy's relationship, mu equal to A plus B by lambda square. So the one which is having lower value of wavelength, that particular, the material will offer more refractiveness for that particular wavelength. So therefore, mu B greater than mu G greater than mu I greater than mu R. And how the mu and refractive index and critical angle inversely proportional. So therefore, critical angle for B will be less compared to green, compared to yellow, compared to red. Or if you want to write, let's come for this one. Yeah, the ray is incident. So what is angle of incidence? It's same for all the colors here, no? Then two of the rays will undergo refraction. The other two will undergo TIR. So what can be the other two? So
Green and
this,
blue.
yeah. Theta 1, I'll take it. Theta 2. This is a normal. This should be the angle of incidence. No doubt, this should be the angle of incidence. So definitely the theta 1, which rays will be the critical angle for, I think A and B should be the red and yellow, no? Please do think that I don't have any much mathematics here. Critical angle for if the red and if the if the green and blue undergoes TIR, what happens to red and yellow? They need not undergo TIR. If red and yellow undergoes TIR, they must undergo TIR. If you say green, if you say this is, these are green and blue. Not possible, no? So definitely what happen? Let blue and green, let it undergo TIR. Then what happen? A be red, they need not undergo TIR. So therefore the A will be red, B will be, what we have? B will be yellow. So how to say that between A and B? So they'll not undergo TIR. Between A and B, who is yellow, who is red?
Snell's law.
Snell's law of refraction. From that only we should see. So therefore A is red and B is yellow. So now green and blue will come here. No, let's come for this one. What is the angle of incidence? 90 minus theta 2 will come, no? Okay, some I'll bring it. This should be the normal. Look at carefully now. Now, what can be if so again the critical angle for the green will be less than critical angle for blue. Critical angle for green will be less than critical angle for green will be greater. This symbol. So C should be blue, or if blue undergoes, if the blue undergoes, if the blue undergoes TR, what happens? Green need not undergo TR, no? But one is undergoing TR, other is getting reflected. So therefore, this should be green, this should be blue. Am I right? I'm just taking help of this last bit on this. I'm analyzing here. But here condition given, sir, why can't both undergo TR? But condition is given, one will undergo TR, the other will not undergo TR. In that case, what happens if the blue undergoes TIR, the green need not undergo TIR. So why can't both undergo? But condition given, one will undergo TR, one will not undergo TR. So therefore, I should assume this situation. There's a very popular, so possibility of asking, just be careful. Next one. Carefully analyze the problem. It's a diamond. I think diamonds will be like this only shape. Find the maximum allowed value of angle of incidence theta so that light suffers total internal reflection at point B. I'm testing your geometry here. You don't think the simplest method is here? Shall we take like this? It's not a prism, but I can assume there's a prism and there's an angle of prism. You know, anybody can do it if you can do this imagination. This should be angle how much? This is 90. This is 45. So what should be the angle of prism? The angle of prism should be, I'll do one thing, I'll write alpha because A we have here, no? So let me, so what is alpha? Therefore alpha should be 45 degrees. So straight away we got what, like angle of prism. And strictly, so this will be the refracting angle R1. R1 plus R2 plus alpha. R1 plus R2 should be alpha. And for the ray to undergo TIR at B, for TIR, theta will not be 15, huh? 2 sine inverse of 2 sine 15. The answer I'm getting. Okay, let me get into this one. So for TR at B, so what should be the R2? R2 should be greater than or equal to C. So let this be the mu of prism. So this will become sine inverse of 1 by mu. Mu value we know equal to 2. So therefore this will become R2. Let's get into. So what is R2? R2 we can write it as sine of R. Okay, directly I think we'll get the value of this one. No? R2 should be greater than or equal to 30 degrees. What is R2? We can write it as alpha minus R1 alpha is 45, so 45 minus R1 any mathematics? No. 45 15 degrees should be greater than or equal to R1. Yeah. Okay, R2 I should bring, no? So yeah, fine. So this will be sine of 15 degrees sine R1. Sine 15 degrees, I'll keep it as it is. R1, I'll write it as alpha minus R2. Sine alpha cos R2 minus okay, this any calculation, I think after this sine 15 degrees, sine alpha 1 by root 2, alpha is 45, no? Cos R2 root of theta I should bring, no? Sorry, like I'll take it out this part. Huh? So I think somewhere I'm just sine R1 I can write it as I should bring theta, no? So applying Snell's law, sine theta equal to mu sine R1, and mu we know it 2. So therefore this will become sine of 15 degrees is equal to sine theta by mu. Mu is 2, that is given. So therefore theta will be less than or equal to sine inverse of so minimum equal to, you can write it, that is. Okay, not 15 degrees. So this should be the our answer like this. Huh? Okay, no, so making like a structure, what happened, always try to search some, means like how do I come to know, so like this problem belongs to prism, maybe its problem belongs to refraction at plane surface. It's say like what is the, see what we did, refraction at plane surface formulas only we apply, no? What is the prism idea? Applying refraction at plane surface at 2 times and some relation between the angles, what happens through some triangle quadrilateral, that will become prism. Please do work out some different, rather than question, no, you yourself assume a different structure. Like I very exclusively today, there's a one thing. The other one also I brought it, though there is no prism, but the idea of prism is introduced. The idea of the prism is introduced here. So, so it's the idea of prism is a generalized. It doesn't mean that there should be a prism in the diagram. Getting, no? Okay, let's take the next one. Some good question. Just it's a geometry. Again, I'll be testing your. I think there is for you. Is there any syllabus? Is there properties of triangle, coordinate geometry?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Finish over. I think you are in far better position. I read the question. Option A, okay, you do later on. We'll come for option B. We'll take the option B. See, I think for as a physics teacher, I'll do struggle. I should look at the angles, that one relation between angles, this one. Since you know mathematics will be very easy for you. You can manage comfortably in exam. So especially prism problems, final advanced exams, no, you should do it very systematically. Than lens, these numericals will be easier if any question comes from prism. I don't know weekend exams. I'm talking about advanced exam. Now option B, a ray of light is incident parallel to BC at a height from BC. Find the height above BC at which the emergent ray leaves the surface AC. It is given that emergent ray leaves the surface AC. It is given that mu equal to and length BC equal 20 centimeter. How do it will emerge? Option A, already we know it, condition for critical angle. Condition for no emergence, that you take it out. Take pen, notebook, pen, and start drawing diagram. I think you have to define some at what height it will leave. So how the ray, what will happen to the ray inside there? I'll draw the diagram. We'll have this one. So the ray is incident. After this, it will undergo refraction. Then again here. But such things are not given. How to justify like whether we are right or wrong? This height is what it is being asked, h dash. So now very question, sir, why can't the ray go directly here? That's all, no? So this is why can't the ray go directly here? Why you are thinking like this? I think this is a condition for no emergence. Definitely, what is the value of mu? I should take it here. The mu is greater than or equal to √2. So when the ray comes here, it will undergo TIR and it enters here. Condition for no emergence will emerge out through the face AC. If rectangular glass of the prism is mu greater than √2. Option part A is totally different. Come out of that one. No, part B is what? He has given specific condition. Mu √2 is given. BC, the length BC is also there. Can we proceed now this way? So now we have this H also. Okay, this is A, P, Q. I need all this thing. So this is QR. Let the emergent ray be T. That H dash has to be determined. We know H 3 centimeter. BC as given. Angle, this angle is 90 degrees. This angle is 45. See, actually what I did is I just did the problem like this. Then I got some other answer. Then I verified myself. Then later on I assumed a condition like this. Maybe what happened now, the ray is incident here. We have to calculate that angle. Through that angle, what happened, I think now we have this length. So if this length is something should be, if it is, say it will undergo refraction, or that one, you should calculate even this length also. If this length QR is something, if it is able to reach till here, it will reach the ray here. So I took help of scale and protractor. It really troubled me almost 1 hour. Yesterday I spent 1 hour. I just assumed it like this there. I did, okay, I got some H dash not matching. Then I thought, what is the problem? Then I measured these angles, everything, no? So the angle is such that what means the ray will not, after reflection will not come, will come here. Will strike the base basis, they will undergo TIR, then again, it'll undergo refraction. I think in exam, this will be really troublesome because we must have some geometrical instruments because it I thought like this because I could not get answer. Then I changed it. Then after assuming diagram like this, I got answer. If you want to, meanwhile, you analyze it. Let me, why I'm thinking like this, because I went wrong from other way. When I think it, I didn't get answer. That's why I came and thought like this. I verified everything. So only when we assume like this, I'm getting answer. For that, what happened, this length QR also matters. That has to be calculated. Okay, I'll proceed like this. So this is angle 45 degrees. Okay, this angle will be 45. Incident angle will be 45. So with this, I'll get this angle R1. Or we'll write R. So applying Snell's law. So this is air. Okay, I'll proceed with the mathematics. So this will be sine 45 degrees is equal to mu into sine R. So this will be 1 by root 2. Mu is root 2 sine r. So therefore r will be 30 degrees. Keep it this in hand. Very useful for us. Then any other, okay, looking at this triangle. So this angle, how much it should be? This will be 90. This angle of incidence call I dash will call it. Okay, no, 45. So this angle should be how much? Should be 45. So I'm trying to get the value of I dash. This should be 90 minus I dash. Let's write one equation, 45 degrees plus R plus 90 minus I dash should be equal to 180 degrees altogether. So what is the anybody value I dash?
45 degrees.
75.
45, sir.
I dash value.
Dash only, sir, 45.
45 plus R is 30, no? Should be 75. Okay, no, I got the I dash. So okay, after getting I dash, so I dash is how much? 75. So the remaining angle will be 15 degrees. So from that, I'll get the length MR. So this I'll call beta. So tan beta, so I know H, like it should be like a QM by MR. I'll get into the tan beta. Okay, this will be 90 minus I dash is 75, 15 degrees. Yeah, tan beta should be equal to QM by MR. QM is what? Is equal to BP. BP is what? H. We know tan 15 degrees, beta is 15 degrees. So from that weapon, I'll get the value of MR. If I know MR, then you know, like we know H, I can get the BQ. From BQ weapon, I'll get the BM. So like that, I'll get the BR. After getting BR, then I can easily calculate RC. I'll come all in order. Tan 15 H by MR. MR will be 12 centimeter. Tan 15 how much? 0.25. H is 3. 12 centimeter. Anybody, BM will be how much? 3 centimeter. BM should be equal to QM because tan 45. Tan 45 should be equal to QM by BM. So this should be 1 is equal to QM by BM. QM is what? H. QM is equal to H. So therefore, BM equal to H equal to 3 centimeter. BC is 20 given, no? So we know BC is equal to BM plus MR plus RC. BM is 3. MR is how much? We calculated 12. RC, this is 20. 5 centimeter. Now we know RC. With the RC, what happened? We should calculate the first SSC, that one. What are the other things I should try, you know? I think you should say emergent ray leaves the surface AC parallelly. You should have said no. I think some data is missing. I'll add that data with the emergent ray leave the surface AC parallelly. Parallel to BC. Then only otherwise no use. We can never reach what he's saying. And there's a correction I'm adding it. Surface AC parallel to BC. Okay, fine. Okay, now applying Snell's law. This should be the R only. Applying Snell's law, because this angle should be equal to how much? 45 degrees. So this should be the R. We know value of R. So now RC has to be calculated. Okay, RC we know it. Okay, after RC, we need H dash here. How to bring H dash? So this is N, I'll write it. So this angle we know it. This will be beta. This is 90. Shall we take this angle again, 45? Any geometry I should do here? Okay, we'll look at the triangle. BQR1 triangle, CSR1 triangle. So BQ by BR should be equal to SSC by RC. Yeah. I'm taking help of this triangle. So BQR1 triangle and CSR1 triangle. The ratio of BQ by BR should be equal to SSC by RC. Can I do, anybody? Because that's the only alternative I have. Triangle BQR and CSR. Okay, there the BQ by BC should be equal to CS by what we wrote, RC, symbol. RC. BQ we know, BQ by BR. Okay, this is, yeah. Comparing those two triangles, so I'll get the value of CS directly. Okay, after CS, then I can get the H dash. So therefore, this CS is equal to so then H dash will get it. $45 degrees, no? So this should be H dash should be equal to sine 45 degrees cos 45 degrees. Just verify, I am writing this much H dash by SSC. SSC or CS, anything you write it. So the CS value is what we know, we'll calculate here. Then substituting, we'll get H dash. Anybody value?
1 centimeter.
This is what he has given. I just assumed all these things are, then I reached it. I think parallel to BC, I should mention, I feel. Then afterwards, I checked with this length QR. Okay, this length QR will not be sufficient to reach till there. The ray will bend. Okay, this will be your answer. I'll take the one more question. Good question is there. Okay, read the question. I'll magnify it. Is there in assignment? I just picked up from there only. I think here it's very good. No, he has given the path. Previous problem you see, things were not like that. He has given strictly the path, everything. Okay, fine. We can directly get into geometry and we can start work. Previous problem, little bit dangerous. That parallel word was missing and other things. Let's take a situation of like this here. This is a normal. And year one normal. It may not appear 90 degree, but it is 90 degree. May not appear in the diagram, but it because it's a normal, no? Now get into the find the maximum value of base angle theta of the prism for which total interference can take place at the base. There's the angle of incidence. Let it be I. And this will be theta, no? From this. So therefore, I plus theta equal to 90. So therefore, I is equal to pi by 2, write it. Pi by 2 minus theta. So let this angle of, let this be R. So let me apply Snell's law at B. At B, sin I is equal to mu sin R. Sin I will be sine of pi by 2 minus theta mu sin R. So this will be cos theta equal to mu sin R. Ours find the maximum value of base theta for which prism theta is asking. Okay, I kept this equation. Mu of that 3 by 2. Okay, let me write that. Eliminate mu also. Keep it in equation 1. Now get into this one. Let me take some geometry help. Okay, this is Q. This is C and this is Q. This is a critical angle. Theta phi, just be careful. Okay, let's get into some mathematics here. What all we can write this angle, let it be beta. So theta plus 90 plus r plus beta. So from the triangle BPC. 90 plus r plus theta plus beta equal to 180. So 90 plus r plus theta. Beta is what? 90 minus 5 equal to 180. So therefore this is r plus theta is equal to 5. And this is some very important. And for TIR at C, what happened? The phi should be greater than, for TIR at C, this angle of incidence, that phi should be greater than critical angle. So what is phi? Phi equal to r plus theta. I'll introduce like this. Let me take sine on both sides. Sine of so this will be sine r cos theta cos r sine theta greater than sine of critical angle. Shall I say mu of water by mu of glass? Shall we write like this? No. Sin r, what we can write it in terms of cos theta, I can bring it. Sin r will be 2 by 3 cos theta. This is cos theta. Cos r will be root of 1 minus sine square r. Sin theta, what is mu w? Given how much? 4 by 3, no? Mu w is 4 by 3. Mu g is 3 by 2. 2 by 3 cos square theta plus 1 minus sine square r will be 4 by 9 cos square theta sine theta is equal to, this will be 8 by 9. I think it's all about only theta. Solving for theta will get the required answer. Cos square theta is there, so we can sine theta again, we can write it as 1 minus, anybody simplify this? Okay, I'll try it. So this will be sine theta 1 minus 4 by 9 cos square theta 8 by 9 2 by 3 cos square theta. Squaring, so that root will get eliminated. Sine square theta 1 minus 4 by 9 cos square theta 8 by 9 2 by 3 cos square theta. Okay, now yeah. Oh, such a big one. We can assume, anybody please solve it. Sine square theta, again I'll write 1 minus cos square theta 1 minus 4 by 9.
Sir, 8 by 9 minus 2 by 3 cos square theta whole square, sir.
This is whole square. This much is what we have. So solving for cos square theta will get the required answer. I'll write down answer. Please solve it. Cos theta less than under root of 17 by 21. The answer is something like this. Huh? You have to check it. Less than or equal to. So theta max will be cos inverse of. I have answer. I didn't solve it. I have answer. I'm writing it. Huh? You have to verify it. Just mathematics, nothing to do. You have to be ready for more than mass application. Triangle, I think you should always search for what are all possible triangles are there. We'll solve one more, another 10 minutes is there. One more problem, we'll go for it. That's already we discussed. These two things. There's graphical questions. You do have plenty of things. Find the angle of prism A. Straight away, deviation equal to I plus E minus A. No? If this is the incident angle, this will be emergent angle. So deviation we know 28 degrees, 18 plus. So we'll get the angle of prism. Now come for a glass prism. Find the refractiveness of the glass and the value of I1. Minimum deviation, we know it, and the angle of incidence at which minimum deviation occurs. So what is the formula? Mu is equal to okay, no, read only this question. Look at only this question. A minimum deviation is how much? Delta minimum 60 degrees. Maximum deviation 63 degrees. So what is the formula for minimum deviation? Mu plus sine of A plus delta minimum by 2 sine of A by 2. We don't have, and the angle at which that minimum deviation occurs, at minimum deviation. So we know this like a R1 equal to R2 equal to R and I1 equal to I2 equal to I. Then we know angle of incidence. So sine I mu sine. And what is this R1 plus R2? This should be equal to how much? A by 2 of the angle of prism. Because R1 plus R2 equal to, so this should be equal to A by 2. So now we know I1. What is I1? Okay, this is some other values. I'll put it. We will put some prime. I1 dash is what? This one. So I1 dash we know sine 60. So from that what pen and a R1 dash you can write it as A by 2. So this will become sine 60 equal to mu of sine of A by 2. Sine of A by 2 you can write it as mu. So there's a one equation, there's another equation. Solving 1 and 2 will get both mu and A.
So from deviation formula, we'll get directly also.
Okay, yeah, we can use that also. No, so deviation is equal to maximum deviation. It didn't say maximum, no, it's just only deviation. So deviation is equal to, yeah, okay, directly from there we are having, no? This is 60 degrees I1 plus 2I1 minus A. After getting A, I'll get I1. Huh?
Yes, sir.
After getting A, I'll get I1. So here what happened? First that mu A and I1, three unknowns are there, and we can solve it. So this will be root 3 by 2. So mu equal to sine A by 2 will be, in terms of that, you substitute here. Then here minimum deviation, we know it. Okay, this is not maximum deviation. No?
Sir, A we can find by delta equal to 2I minus A and A only.
Yes,
No,
sir.
in one step only we can find.
Which one?
Same
We can
deviation
find
formula we
the
can use
delta
for
equal
the.
to A.
Oh, 60 degree, no? Yeah, we can use the same 60 plus 60 equal to I dash plus I dash minus A. I dash, we can write only this I dash, no? Okay, I dash we know 60, no? So 60 is equal to, this will be 2 into. Yeah, this will be much easier. Huh? Substitute will get I1 and other things. Yeah. No need to fight with mathematics all that one. Yeah, this will be better idea. Okay, these are very popular. Can be our final exam advance. Huh? You have to be careful. From graph, what all you can find out. Just verify once. And one more, I think you have, like if you keep an object, the last one I'll wind up, huh? Because tomorrow let me focus directly on the lens. And now if you have a point object, the last one will wind up. If you have a point object nearby a prism, so I'll keep that point object at a certain I have to draw a diagram. No, this is. We'll do one thing. I'll take other triangle. If you have a point object here, so it is placed certain. It can be anywhere. Huh? It can be anywhere. So like this will assume. So here is what I keep a point object. What about the image, all that particular thing? So first what happened, we'll assume one ray like this. Exactly the midpoint, you treat this is like a, don't look at exactly the midpoint, you show the deviation. So it's a small angle prism, so it'll get deviated. Then you send another ray. With respect to the, like a height, what happened, you show that one and it'll get, it's a small angle prism. All the rays will have the same deviation. If the prism were not there, it would have been like this. So this you take delta, this delta. You produce it back. If you produce it back, so these rays, and the diagram should be drawn in such a way. I adjusted all the things. So here is what that image will be there. So what is that? height we can. So I'll give this distance. Okay, this is a deviation, so this will be delta. Then we know angle of prism A. So what is the deviation produced by it? Delta equal to mu minus 1 into E. So if you know mu minus 1, and I'll give the distance from the vertex of the prism, there's a point object. Okay, tan delta, what we can write it as? Tan delta equal to h by x1. So h is equal to x1 into tan delta. At that particular height, we can look at it. And what is the delta? Delta is mu minus 1 into E. Substituting that, we'll get the height at which that image, it will be virtual. Virtual image. So real point object. We have discussed all the problems where only the rays were incident. If you keep some object as, it will form a virtual image. And we can find out using this method. For small angle prism, all this applicable is for small angle prism. Okay, this image now, if you keep any lens here, that image will become like a object for the lens. If you keep concave mirror, then okay, that image I will become an object for this, and you further continue. You need not to bother anything about the prism now. Just you have to come out of the concept at what height. Suppose here if I keep a lens or say a concave mirror like this. So then this I1, this I will become object for it. And this I is at a height, with the principal axis. So you know height of the object and you know the distance. Then you can carry on the problem. So I think I solved in class. If you can just refer my notes. So here now, idea of the prism is only this much. Now here object can be, instrument can be here, concave mirror, convex mirror, lens, let it be whatever be that one. Once you know how to calculate this image I, its position, rest all you can manage. You do have questions, please do refer. Okay, I'll wind up the class. Okay, thank you all of you.